here. Does anybody need white balance?
Yeah. How are you going to know what to say?
Listen.
Okay.
He's a veteran at this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. What do you see from AJ Swan? What kind of arm does he have that pose problems against?
Yeah, I mean, special arm strength. You know, it has a lot of similarities, you know, to Will. Honestly, you know, the ease of which it comes his hand, you know, comes off his hand. The easy flick of the wrist and the ball can just travel. It's got really good spin rate to it. You know, crisp on his, you know, his accuracy. Does a nice job, sort of in, you know, when the play breaks down. Because of that arm strength, you know, sort of off platform, he can get that ball way downfield in a hurry. And even if you're in sort of the hip pocket covered where most guys wouldn't throw that ball, you know, especially in sort of a scramble situation, he trusts himself enough to be able to throw it. So, no, good challenge, really good player. He's playing at a high level.
Numbers aren't huge, but is he doing things out there that maybe don't show up in the box score?
Yeah, you know, I think there are things that would he like to be more impactful and maybe doing better. Yeah, I'm sure there is, and obviously, you know, there's some plays out there that we'd like him to, some special plays that we'd like him to make. You know, I think it's one of those things that if you just keep playing the right way, you know, those plays are gonna come your way. You know, what you can't do is you can't force it. And you know, maybe, you know, there was a game, you know, at EKU, like I felt like he was pressing, you know, a lot, and we talked a lot about last game. Just say don't press, just let the game come to you. And I thought, you know, he was better in that regard last week. But, no, I think he'll continue to make big plays, and we need him to make sort of game-changing plays for us. And those will come if he just stays true to who he is, stays true to, you know, sort of the training, the technique, you know, and play with a little bit of reckless abandon. You know, a lot of times, too, if you've been in the system a lot, you know, you know all the strengths and weaknesses of the defense. You know what they're trying to do, and you know, hey, listen, sometimes you just don't need to overthink. We talk about, I know I talk about all the time, football like you. There's that piece pre-snap, but then when it's post-snap, you just got to let it go. Trust that you know what you saw pre-snap, and then just play. You know, so there's some of that to it, but I think he's going to be just fine. He's still really helping us win, and I think he's going to make some plays like he has in the past that change the outcomes of ball games.
Right now, Trevin leads the SEC in sacks. How much of that is individual effort on his part, and how much of it is guys around him doing things that have freed him up to get sacks?
I think it's both. It's a combination. You know, I think guys, you know, and he'd be the first to tell you that the guys around him have to do the right things, you know, for that to fall in place. And, you know, some of those sacks, you know, the coverage is really nice. You know, the quarterback's having to hold the ball. He's able to, you know, shed a running back that's trying to cut him, and then, you know, make the play when the QB steps up. So, again, that all started with good coverage behind, but then it turns into some individual effort that he doesn't get cut to the ground, that he's strong enough to bring down the quarterback. So, again, it's a combination.
How much, if any, do the guys think about what happened last year in that game, or is that so far behind that?
I think any loss that you have, if it doesn't linger with you or stick with you, you know, maybe I question your competitive nature. Like, the losses should stick with you way more than the wins, and I know they do for me. And so every time you face an opponent that, you know, got the best of you the year before, you should have a little added something about, okay, can't let this happen again. I remember that feeling. And we talk about the feeling of 5 minutes after a win, and you know how sort of glorious that time is in the locker room. Well, the flip side and the reverse of that is the agony and the pain and the disgust and all of that from a loss sticks way more than 5 minutes. And so the only way to get that taste out of your mouth is to put in the work, show up, and you got to find a way to get a win on Saturday.
Is there a loss for you as a player that still lingers with you from your playing days?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a big lead that we had on Florida State when I was a sophomore at home. Would have been the first time we beat Florida State. And, Travis Minor went off in the second half. We had a couple against Florida State that we could have back then. Now Wake does a really nice job. They've kind of had their number, but those ones sting.
You guys had a lot of young guys, a lot of backups in the second half Saturday. Anybody from that group impressed you kind of getting those game reps?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of guys. There was one that sort of jumps out. Tyrese, I thought, really made the most of his opportunity. I thought he played fast. He played violent. It wasn't perfect, but I knew it's never going to be, especially with it's not with the old guys, especially not with the young guys. But the pace in which he played, and it wasn't just at the end of the game. We were trying to get some of those guys in earlier in the game because we're going to need them throughout the season. So you saw him and Noah, get in on the very first third play of the game on the very first third down. Like, we need those guys, to get humming. So we've got some extra guys that can pass rush in 2-minute drills that are very comfortable to get in games. It's good to see, Ty Bryant, who's been doing unbelievable on special teams, get safety reps, and then see those inside linebackers come in, and you see Rayner and you see Martez come in and make plays. And you need that so that, one, it's for them, and two, it's also for coaches, right? That you build confidence and trust. It's a two-way street. You're like, okay, good, I can put them in, and they will operate and they will function to a high level, and there won't be a drop-off, or if there is, it may be minimal, maybe more of an experience thing than a talent thing, and you can live with that. It was good for us to get that.
I think Vandy has 3 receivers over 200 yards already. What stands out to you about their wideouts and
Speed.
Yeah,
Speed. They're fast. They can roll. Obviously everybody knows about Shepard at 14, and he's the most probably complete receiver, probably just because of time, on task there. But he has strong hands, can make one-on-one contested catches. 6 and 83 can flat roll. And so we've got to be mindful, of them being able to take the top off and get behind the defense. They create a lot of big plays, and so I think all their skill positions, their tight ends, you can see how well they can run and separate and create. They've done a really nice job there from a skill position standpoint.